Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
It's just being the Joneses.
just being the Joneses.
And we're April and
And boss,
back with another episode. Um for your listening and our talking
for your listening pleasure.
and our talking pleasure. Pleasure. So today, on today's episode, this Tuesday's episode, we're gonna be talking about um some of the shifts in um the generational uh I would say um the way we do things as a generation versus how
Culture and expectations.
the last or how older generations did them when it comes to like what we call self-care, and they might some of them call laziness now, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
So yeah, so some of the things that um I think that makes life easier. Some of my um older family members
Kinfolk.
may think that that is actually called being lazy. But I think with nowadays we're getting away from burning out or feeling like we need to burn out, and we're delegating responsibilities. And I don't necessarily see it as lazy. I don't see it as lazy. I see it as taking better care of ourselves, right?
Right.
So, I mean,
I mean, it could be beneficial, very beneficial and even healthy. Yeah, taking care of yourself.
so like,
If you can do something to make things more convenient, then why not go for it? If you can afford it, if you can do it, if it's not hurting anyone, if it's not inconveniencing anyone,
mm-hmm,
then yeah, why not do it? Like, hey, DoorDash, for
mm-hmm,
example. Shoot,
mm-hmm.
I'm on board with DoorDash.
Because if you don't feel like going out to get food, you
Then
know,
yeah, then I come home, or I can even do it. Shoot, before I get home, and say, hey, at 6 o'clock, I want that triple dipper or whatever.
and like it,
But convenience,
I'm not really like I just recently started eating a little bit of DoorDash
a little
stuff
bit.
that's
Shoot, you
delivered
be
by
wanting
the.
me to do that all the time.
No, no, I do not. I only had DoorDash what 2 times over the last. No, you that be you do without that DoorDashing. That's a bold face one.
uh,
I DoorDash what you DoorDash for me twice, and that's not all the time.
nah, I know,
I
but it was just funny that you the last like couple of times you were like, well, just DoorDash it because you was all set against it.
well, I said it for Krispy Kreme the last time
And
because
Chili's.
yes, because I really wanted that Chili's and I really wanted that Krispy Kreme.
It
So,
was something else too, but
but
I
I
can't
don't.
recall.
But I just got my reasons for not necessarily caring too much for DoorDash. But anyways, it's still a convenience,
Mm-hmm.
and nowadays we're paying for convenience. Um, and I just don't think that that is necessarily lazy. I think that I don't feel like going to do it, so I'm going to at my convenience. I can have it delivered to me,
That's
just
right.
like Instacart. Like I think it saves time for me. Instacart saves time. Now I remember somebody telling me one time that it was just lazy for people to use Instacart. Blah blah blah.
Mm.
But I think that Instacart saves for me, it saves time sometimes because it's like I might be like, oh, okay, well, I gotta work for a few hours, but before I start working, I'm gonna order Instacart and I'm gonna have it delivered. So when I'm done,
Mm-hmm.
I can easily just start cooking or preparing dinner or whatever I need to do.
Yeah.
Or I can have my groceries delivered, and while my grocery, instead of me going to grocery shop for them, and I can be doing something else around the house that need to be done,
Yep.
or whatever. So to me, it's convenience, it's saving time, it's being productive because I got somebody else doing my grocery shopping
Yeah.
while I'm doing this work or I'm doing this task or I'm doing this, whatever. But even if I just feel tired and I just want to sit and read a book and have somebody else do my grocery shopping, I mean, I still and that I just look at that part is now that is to me is self-care.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking care of myself by taking that time to relax and let somebody else delegating that responsibility that need to be done. Now, I like to go to the grocery store way more than I like the Instacart because certain stuff I just don't like the person to pick out for me, like my produce and stuff like that. But I mean, it has been very convenient to use that, and I mean, I don't see that as being lazy. I see that as being you can actually be using that. That could be a part of your productivity.
Yeah, that's right. It could be. I never thought about the productivity part of it, but yeah, like you said, you can while you're doing something at home, whatever it is, you got somebody else doing your grocery shopping for you, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's just how times are today. We're
Mm-hmm.
just in those times where it's almost like automation. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Something like that. That word get tossed around a lot because you want things are done more instantly now.
Mm-hmm.
And if we've been in this instant or not instant, but just delivery mindset, or not delivery, but or not mindset, but delivery.
Era.
Um, what I'm trying to say, we've been having things delivered for a long time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Think about a pizza.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have people had a pizza delivered to their home
Mm-hmm.
as long as you stay in the right neighborhood?
Yeah, because hey, when I
Versus,
was growing up, pizzas were and they didn't deliver. Pizza
uh-uh,
Hut, none of them delivered in my
uh-uh.
neighborhood.
If you live on a certain street, you wouldn't get that pizza delivered to your house. But anyway, yeah, like I'm saying, is that it's been happening a long time anyway. I mean, even around the world, stuff gets delivered. I mean, what I'm saying, you got people in China, Korea, all over Asia, they were delivering stuff on bikes to people for a very long time. I mean,
Mm.
whatever, groceries and other services or whatever. They do it all on a bike. But I mean, getting back to staying on topic, yeah, like I use my thing is DoorDash. It's pretty cool. It's convenient. It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I don't feel like if I don't feel like doing it because I thought I've worked all day and I just want to come home, but I don't. You may not feel like cooking. I may not feel like cooking, so I'm like, hey, well, I just DoorDash something when I get home.
Well, that's another part though, the cooking part. So a lot of time, some people see that as because a wife isn't cooking 5 days, 5, 6, 7 days a week. That's also lazy. But I mean, I just don't subscribe to like that mindset
That's never been my
where
mindset.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
subscribe to that mindset where it's like, okay, you have to, you know, cook these meals every day and stuff like that. Like I
Yeah.
don't subscribe to that mindset. And if you don't, you're lazy. Because I used to get up at 5 in the morning and make breakfast and full breakfast and da 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 and lunch and
Mm.
dinner and after cooking 3 meals a day and 6 to 7 days a week or whatever. I don't subscribe to that.
And I
So,
and I respect that because more than likely they had to do it back in the 50s and 60s or whatever. They had to do it. That was their role. That was the expectation. So they did it, and they were proud to do it. Sometimes maybe they're not so proud. Sometimes they retired and wanted to take a day off, but couldn't. But they knew that was their role in the household, and I respect that 100%.
mm-hmm,
But things are different nowadays. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I don't expect you, my wife, my queen, to just be like the expectation you will cook every day just because I go to work Monday through Friday on a regular.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? I don't expect you to do that. If you know what I'm saying. I mean, there's been times I've told you, hey, if you don't feel like cooking, just don't cook. Whatever. I can pick something up. Sometimes I don't. There's plenty of times I came home and cooked,
mm-hmm.
and you sat on your ass all day. But I came home and
Yep.
cooked.
Hey, I was relaxing. I was getting some
But I
much
didn't
needed
mind.
relaxation.
But I didn't mind though. I
But
didn't mind.
yeah, because to me that's a love language when you say like oh, just relax. Don't worry about cooking or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, like my chiropractor done told me on several occasions, on several times when I had to get adjusted, depending on what was going on, like if I had to get a certain part of my neck or something adjusted, if she wanted it a whole,
Right.
and she'll be like, "No cooking for the rest of the day. Just relax. No cooking, no cleaning, no this, no that, no the other."
Yeah. That's right.
And so,
Yeah. Self care.
yeah,
Because you got to do. You got to follow your doctor's orders. Yeah.
but I'm just, and then like for instance, like even for Thanksgiving, right? This past Thanksgiving, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't cook anything. You didn't cook anything.
You
We
could.
went out to eat.
Yeah. I think you could like one thing, macaroni or something. Then you cook something.
I might have cooked some macaroni,
I
but
think
that
you like
ain't
macaroni,
nothing.
But yeah, it wasn't
But
the
I
big. It
mean,
wasn't the big dinner where you cooking like days ahead.
yeah.
The traditional Thanksgiving dinner. No, we went out, and I was glad you. I think I was the one brought it up. Like, hey, let's go out.
Mm-hmm.
You know
And
what
I
I'm
was
saying?
telling one
Shoot.
of the older people in my family about that idea that we did. Like, I was like, we went out for Thanksgiving, and then she was like, "That's it. Oh, okay. So you was Lazy is what she said, and then she spelled it out like that." And I'm like, no, I was just like, we just felt like doing something different, and it felt good not to have to spend hours cooking, and it felt and then cleaning up afterwards and stuff like that. And we just decided that we want to do something different. We didn't want the traditional Thanksgiving
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So we went out, and we had been saying for a long time we was gonna do that.
Yep. I was like, hey, let's do it.
And we just never did
And it
until
felt
then.
great.
Yes.
Great coming home to a clean house. And you didn't have all these pots and all this food in your fridge. And that'd be the worst part. All that food. Because you're not putting in all that work, so you're not just gonna throw that food away. You gotta hold on to it. Then you gotta eat off of it. And that job, I don't know, it just got old. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and after experiencing this, shoot, I could do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
To
we
be
went
honest.
out to eat, and then we went somewhere else and ate dessert.
Yeah, two
So
two
it was,
spots. Yeah.
yeah, and it was actually lovely. It was nice, and I actually and see, then like the same person that was saying that to me about the Lazy, was also saying that she was very overwhelmed and her body was very stressed out after she cooked a lot, and of course she's an older person, and um like at some point, sometimes you just got to be like, forget tradition, and I'm gonna listen to my body.
Yes. Absolutely. Because I mean, it just makes sense, really. And much respect to people who want to just stick with the tradition. I ain't knocking that at all. If that was what you want to do, then go ahead. But I'm telling you, fellas, because more than likely it's the women doing most of the cooking. And that's my advice is treat your family, whoever it is, to just go out for Thanksgiving.
If she wants
Forget
to.
all if she want to, yeah, no doubt. If she want to,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. But it was just such a good idea, And I told somebody else about it at work that we were doing it, and he was telling, man, I told my wife the same thing. Let's go out. And she refused. She looked at he say she looked at him like he was just like the dumbest thing he said all year. Like, what in the world you mean go out? No,
that's
this Thanksgiving.
that's because
But
people be really caught up into traditions, and I'm not saying
yeah,
it's anything wrong with holding on to traditions and stuff like that, because I know traditions are special.
yeah,
But it's also nothing wrong with deviating from those traditions too, right?
that's right.
So it's like, I mean, because I understand in some families, certain things been around for a long time, 40, 50 years or more,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody, just every generation after generation is carry on that tradition. And it's hard to even think about doing anything else because this was expected,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so sometimes it boils down to, we're gonna stick to this tradition and we're gonna do this whether we feel good or not, whether it make us sick or not, or whatever, whether I'm too tired to even enjoy this in
mm-hmm.
family afterwards, or all of these things. Sometimes our family members get older and they are, you know they don't need to be like spending those hours doing that stuff anymore. But people expect it, and they come over and they cook. I mean, they eat up the food and stuff like that. But sometimes, I mean, families join together and lend a hand, and some don't. And it's just the older people that's actually make cooking these meals because it's tradition,
Start
right?
days ahead. Yeah,
yeah.
tradition.
So, and it's tiring and taxing, but they don't want to break out of that tradition, generational thing.
They don't want to break out of it. They don't want to disappoint anybody.
Yeah.
The kids coming over, they expecting that dressing and them greens. And they don't want to, can't nobody else do it like them. So
yeah,
they've been talking it up, and as soon as fall hit, they talking it up. Grandma, I can't wait to come get your lemon cake.
Yeah,
and
all grandma be tired, and grandma still be in there spending countless hours in there making all that food,
right,
and stuff like that. And grandma need to learn and be given an opportunity for some self-care.
Yes.
So
give grandma a break.
I mean,
let auntie relax this Thanksgiving. Dang, something.
Yeah,
that's showing appreciation and thanks right there.
But I mean, I'm just like, I feel like a lot of times people mindsets, because a lot of the older generation mindsets don't necessarily shift and change with the times as easily as ours do.
That's true.
Or the younger generations do. So like with the stuff when you talk about Instacart and you talk about the DoorDash and you're talking about hiring a house cleaner or the house maid or the maid service to come in and clean your house, which I absolutely do not feel like it's anything wrong with that. Like, if you want to clean your own house from top to bottom, clean your own house from top to bottom. But if you feel like it's, again, you want to delegate the responsibility for somebody to come in and clean your house, don't feel bad about it, because that's not being lazy. That can be being productive.
Right.
And also self-care and taking care of yourself is also a part of being productive, right?
Taking a break.
Because if you tired and worn out, something gonna go lacking. Whether it's your man, your kids, your job, whatever you're doing, or yourself,
something's gonna give.
Something going lacking. So, like, some people hire that cleaning service, or they launder their clothes.
Yep.
And
that lawn service.
Yeah, that lawn service.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like, you won't hire that lawn service that I've been telling you to
hire. Hell no.
But
that's part of my self-care, really.
Yeah,
I mean, get out there and y'all walking around, whatever,
Yeah. But I mean, it's just okay, to, it's not, I think that people have to the realize that it's not necessarily laziness, because people are doing these things, and it's different reasons why people do them, and the different daily things in your life that can be overwhelming if you don't have space to breathe. And we were talking about something in my sisterhood studies group, and it was about, if you have it was said something to the point of, if you have an overwhelmed schedule, then your soul will be underwhelmed, or you'll have an underwhelmed soul, because you don't have that space and that time to breathe in, or put that time in to like really take care of yourself.
Yeah. You're basically wearing yourself out.
Yes. So I think it's important. Like, if you got to delegate. Like, I wouldn't be feeling guilty and ashamed because of that.
Yeah. Like, if I did hire lawn service, which I have thought about seriously doing, if I did do that, I wouldn't feel bad about it, because I'm like, hey, it ain't like I can't do it, or whatever the case. I just decided to hire somebody to let them do it. Let them get out there in that July heat.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Tighten the yard up for me. Why not? Shoot, ain't nothing wrong with it. If you can afford to do it, it ain't hurting nobody. It's helping everybody.
Yeah.
It's a win-win all the way around.
Exactly. And what about freeing up your schedule from doing so much of those things and filling your schedule with more enjoyable things?
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, while somebody doing your lawn, you can be at the beach with your family, or you could be, creating memories or something like that with your family. Yeah. So it's not that, I hired somebody because I'm lazy. It's, I hired somebody so I can put this time in somewhere else.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna shout out our son Cam, because he is our lawn service who I hired this year. I be paying him to cut the yard now. He does a really good job. So he do the cutting and I do the trimming and edging and boom. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like me, yeah, really me hiring somebody because I'm hiring my son to do it and it gives me a break.
Well,
I'm
and
still
it
out
gives
there in the
them
yard,
opportunity to break the
earn some money.
yeah.
Yep. I mean, who better to pay than my son, a family member.
Mm-hmm.
But
I guess that's also another generational thing that's evolved because back in the days you just gonna cut the yard and you ain't getting no money for it,
nah. But I
So
don't mind. I like it as an incentive for him though. So I don't mind. As long as I can afford to do it. Now he understands that if I just need it done, then he's just gonna have to do it. You know, but because he's
mm-hmm.
getting bigger and stronger, plus it'll help him out. Get him stronger.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, yeah, if it's important, I think it's important to not judge people that choose to use those services,
that's right.
because you never people life is set up differently. And I understand a lot of times our older people say, well, I used to do this and this, and I had kids when I did this and this and this and the third and da 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 and all this, and I ain't how you know about to do that. Okay, that's all good and dandy, and that's commendable
Yeah,
and everything. And sometimes it's really not necessarily commendable, or my like the way I think about it in a way, because I'm like, y'all wore yourself out. Like,
hmm
but if you had to do it and you did it and you got all that done, okay, commendable.
yeah,
But if it's because, you know, you have to be that superwoman, you want that super, just got to keep that superwoman status
yeah,
or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't want the superwoman status to the point where I have to do every and anything. Like, I always have to do everything and I can't delegate. I can't feel like I have to delegate responsibilities elsewhere or I'm being lazy.
hmm
I don't want that. I don't want to be so busy that I'm overwhelmed.
that's
Not
right.
all the time. Sometimes it's going to happen because you're going to be work. That's just life. Especially when you meeting goals and trying to do things like that. But
Yeah,
I don't want that to be a continuation and a continuation of my schedule, like often and all the time. So I like the fact that I'ma just call it, like I said, I'ma just call it self care and not lazy.
hmm
Because I like the fact that the convenience is there to utilize and delegate other services and different things when it's necessary.
yeah. And I probably pay the
And if I
convenience
could,
fee.
if I
Shit.
could get a chef, I would, but he won't let me get one. If you let me get a chef, I
Yeah,
have that too. I
goodness.
haven't hired anybody to come in and clean up because every time I think about doing that, I look around and I be like, "What the people gonna come in here and clean?" Because the little stuff in here,
Yeah,
the
really
little
gonna be.
stuff in here that need to be done or picked up or whatever, I can do that. But
hmm
sometimes it's everybody don't have. Sometimes people's households are more hectic and they
Yeah.
need that part. So I don't necessarily feel like I really need a
hmm
house cleaning service,
But
but
I
some
get it.
people do.
I get it for the ones who do. I get it because it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because I know people who use it, and that's cool.
yeah,
Like I like the fact that more people are saying, okay, I'm gonna delegate that responsibility elsewhere. I'm gonna bring in a service to do those things. So
yeah,
and so I feel like people who have a overwhelming schedule should probably look at those things and determine where they probably can shift and delegate some responsibility if they can
hmm
to somewhere else, a service or something like that, and don't feel bad about it.
Don't feel bad about it.
Feel good about the fact that you freeing up your schedule a little bit or whatever. Even if it's like you got a day where you can be like, and I know for a lot of people it's hard to just be like, okay, I'm gonna just not do nothing today because you want to be, you so used to be doing something. But I mean, truly having a rest day is also important.
That's right.
So
Can't wait for my next rest day, whenever that may be.
yeah. So that's that. Lazy or self-care? What y'all think? Is it lazy to hire services, people to come in to clean your house, DoorDash, Instacart, chefs, uh, stuff like that, or do you call that self-care and or um being productive?
Right.
Let us know. Let us know. Let us know in the comments
Comment, comment,
and
comment.
DM us if at on IG at Just Being the Joneses. If y'all got any questions or topics that y'all would like for us to talk about. And that's it.
Tell us how you pay the convenience fee, if you do.
It's Just Being the Joneses. Thank y'all for listening, and we out.
All right.